Hey, what's going on? Haven't seen you around here before. Just over there is Celebrity Land, and it's your lucky day. We're about to announce our Celebrity Showcase winner. Johnny, can you show them what's behind those gates?
Sure can, Jake. When you show up on the big screen and become a hotshot, you gain access to Celebrity Land, a magical place with adoration, wealth, and any form of escape you might fancy. Maybe that's revving down the street in your spiffy new sports car, or getting the attention of any beautiful woman you desire. Maybe it's luxurious tropical vacations, or the highest of highs you're offered at every party. Maybe you just want the glitz and the glamour. Whatever your desires may be, all of these things could be yours if you win a stay at Celebrity Land.
Alright, so the time has come. Who's that winner gonna be? Drum roll, please.
And the winner is Robert Pattinson.
Get in the car and take off and that's it.
It is like being part of a boy band, and I went into the job having absolutely no idea that this would happen.
A-list actor Robert Pattinson is perhaps still best known for his portrayal of teenage vampire Edward Cullen in the Twilight Saga, which turned him into an overnight teen heartthrob. Although he could have easily been written off as the guy from Twilight, his work since then has been completely unpredictable. Instead of bankable familiar roles, Rob has turned out a number of strange and captivating performances over the past decade in independent art house films. And his career is about to take another dramatic turn with the announcement that he's going to play the next Batman. As famous as Rob is, it's striking how little I know about him, and it's because he keeps to himself mostly outside of the screen. So let's explore that, and look at his transformation, and try and get a better understanding of the enigmatic Celebrity Land resident himself, Sir Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson was born on May 13, 1986, and grew up in Barnes in southwest London. His father had a car importing business, and his mother worked at a modeling agency. Growing up, he attended Tower House School, and was reportedly expelled at 12 years old for shoplifting adult magazines and selling them to his male classmates. In his early teen years, to make a little extra cash, he briefly worked as a photo model for British fashion brands and magazines. He said, quote, "I was such a terrible model. I was really tall but still looked like a 6-year-old. Music was Robert's first love. His older sister Lizzie is a singer and got a recording contract at age 17. Pattinson took up piano as a young boy and started playing guitar at age 15. But he wasn't one of those kids always performing in front of family and friends. Instead, Rob preferred being by himself most of the time. He attended an all-boys school until age 12, and pretty much didn't speak to any girls until he entered high school. There, he noticed a cute girl going to the local drama club called the Barnes Theatre Club, so he decided to join.
I fancied this girl who went to a drama club. I worked backstage for like 2 years maybe as a stagehand, and then it coincided with all the tall people leaving to university. It was an under-18s thing. And then so the next play was Our Town.
Rob got the lead role of George Gibbs in the play Our Town and got spotted by a talent agent who was sitting in the audience and began looking for professional roles for him. Rob thought he got his big break when he scored the part of Reese Witherspoon's son in the 2004 film Vanity Fair. Pattinson showed up at the premiere, excited to see himself on the big screen. Sadly, it was during that first screening that he found out his part had been cut from the movie.
I went to the screening and no one had informed me that I was cut. But the casting director, Mary Selway, she felt so guilty that no one had informed me, but she basically gave me the first run at the part in Harry Potter.
In Goblet of Fire, which is the 4th movie in the Harry Potter franchise, Rob plays Cedric Diggory from the Hufflepuff house, who participates in the dangerous Triwizard Tournament alongside Harry Potter. The two eventually form an alliance and help each other with varying tasks before Cedric is ultimately killed by Peter Pettigrew.
Who are you? What do you want? Kill the stag! Avada Kedavra! No! Cedric!
This role was my introduction to Robert Pattinson, and even though he's only part of one Harry Potter movie, it's still one of my favorite characters in the series. Cedric is smart, selfless, and really held it down for all of us Hufflepuffs. So with a nice paycheck from Harry Potter, Pattinson moved out of his parents' house and was ready to pursue a real career as an actor. He landed a role in a serious play in London, but was replaced before opening night. And unfortunately, his movie auditions weren't working out either.
I don't even know, it was just cripplingly self-defeating with the auditions, and it would just happen again and again and again and again. I would really want to do something, and then I just get to the audition and just flake, like every single time. And it was just awful. I mean, I just couldn't handle the pressure of any expectation whatsoever. And I'm like, I'm not good enough.
For a while, Rob couldn't land a job. He stopped talking to his agent and essentially threw in the towel, choosing to instead focus on his music. Yet, as soon as he decided to put acting behind him, another role came his way. A BBC thriller called The Haunted Airman, where Pattinson played a weirdo in a wheelchair. He then played two more eccentric roles. First was playing surrealist painter Salvador Dali in Little Ashes, and next playing a struggling singer-songwriter in a little comedy called How to Be. The director of that movie said, quote, "Rob had a uniqueness and unpretentiousness. He just kinda came and was willing to make a mistake and laugh at himself." Neither film gained much traction, and they certainly didn't catapult him to stardom. So Pattinson planned to return to his music when he got a call from his agent about an upcoming film called Twilight. Director Catherine Hardwicke was having a tough time finding an actor right for the part of Edward Cullen. She was looking for someone with some work experience, otherworldly beauty, and enough depth to make it believable that the kid had been alive since 1901. She said tapes came in from all over, and a lot of guys looked really cute and handsome, but they all looked like dudes in her high school. An executive at the studio suggested they go to IMDb and look at every actor from ages 15 to 25 who had been in Harry Potter. As they were going through the pictures, they came across Cedric Diggory and immediately thought he could be a fit. As for Pattinson, he had never read Twilight and had basically been getting drunk for a year, but said he felt bold in that particular audition.
I flew out to LA to actually audition for something else, which I was told it was mine to take. It was just on a plate, and I went in and completely ruined the audition. And then the next day it was the Twilight audition, and I think I was at such a kind of nothing to lose state. It was quite easy for me to do.
Pattinson was 21 when he was cast in the first Twilight, and he thought he'd have more control over his performance. He got into some arguments with the producers over how Edward should be played.
I remember the producers giving me a copy of the book, and like every single instance where my character smiled and stuff, they'd highlighted everything. Got the same, but I got a different color highlighter and highlighted all the time when he frowns and kind of like things like that.
At one point, his agent had to fly up to the shoot to tell him to cool it.
Because I thought I was pretty safe,
Right.
And they flew up and they're like, "Yeah, you have to do the opposite of what you're doing now, or you're gonna get fired today."
So how did you hold your ground? I mean, how did you know what to do?
I didn't. I literally came back after lunch. I was like, "Hi."
I'm a smiling vampire.
Literally, 100%.
When Rob took the Twilight role, he had no idea how truly popular it would become. He said, quote, "If it hadn't been so successful, people would have thought it was really weird."
I thought it was a kind of pretty weird story, and even the way I promoted, I was very open about like how strange I thought it was when I was doing it. He finds the one girl who he wants to be with, and also wants to eat her. Like, I mean, it's literally like, well, not eat her, drink her blood, whatever.
Right. Got it.
The 5-part Twilight saga grossed an insane $3.3 billion worldwide and turned Pattinson into one of the most lusted after men in the world practically overnight.
This little girl who was about 7 came up to me and she was like, I need you to bite me. And it's like, do you even know what you're saying? Like, I mean...
I just don't think I'm confident enough to really claim, because you can really, if you really claim it, you can have obscene power over people. But yeah, then you have to, it does come with a kind of responsibility. So I've just tried to avoid the responsibility of it completely and just say, like, oh yeah, that guy, he's another guy. like, I can do what I want still. I think I was pretty similar before. I mean, I'd be like one of those people who's desperate to go to a party, but then they go to the party and then they just stand in the corner with the people they came with and refuse to acknowledge that anyone else is there.
Pattinson was so famous during these vampire years that escape from paparazzi required actual physical strategies. Sometimes he'd walk into a restaurant with friends, ask that they swap clothes halfway through a meal, and make a getaway while photographers waited for him to leave in the same outfit. For Rob, the hardest thing about doing the series was doing the sequels. He said as soon as you set a footprint, your instinct is to want to break out of it, and you can't. By the end of production, it was clear Rob was tired of Twilight and questioned the logic of its story.
There's a lot of stuff in the Twilight world that doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are they still going to high school? Like, up until last year, they're 100 years old.
When the final movie, Breaking Dawn Part 2, wrapped, an interviewer asked Rob if he had taken any mementos to remember the series by. He responded simply, "My dignity." After Twilight, Rob took the opposite path from mass blockbusters, choosing instead to work with his heroes. The first movie he did after Twilight was Cosmopolis, directed by indie auteur David Cronenberg. In it, he plays a 28-year-old billionaire that takes a limo ride across Manhattan as his empire collapses around him. Rob said, quote, "I think I started figuring it out a little bit on Cosmopolis. I was so nervous to even ask Cronenberg basic questions to reveal that I didn't know anything, so I would just sit in my hotel room and obsess over the script." One day, Cronenberg sensed fear in Rob's voice and invited him to talk privately. Pattinson told him that he didn't know what something meant in the script, and David responded, "Well, I don't really know what it means either, to be honest, but isn't it kind of juicy?" That conversation was a defining moment for a young Robert Pattinson. Suddenly, he had been granted permission to trust his own talent, to let go of the feeling that he needed to know everything, and instead try to feel his way through the dark. Rob said, "As soon as I have a set plan, it will go wrong. I used to have scripts covered in notes, and now I have nothing."
Every single time I start a movie, I just feel like I have no idea how to act. Like, it's just kind of, it only really seems to come together. You need the adrenaline of I think you need to feel like a total failure. You feel your absolute worst the day before.
Yeah.
From this movie on, every character Pattinson has played has been wildly unique and interesting. He's had varying roles in films like The Rover, Maps to the Stars, Life, The Childhood of a Leader, and The Lost City of Z. And some of these films show that Rob has never shied away from supporting roles. He said, quote, "There just aren't enough lead parts out there if you want to do interesting things. Everyone's supposed to be an activist or whatever as an actor, but I didn't become an actor to be a politician. I became an actor to do interesting movies. If my career becomes making art house movies for one patron, that's cool with me."
I'm more interested in getting one person to really, really, really like it and to be their favorite movie, rather than get loads of people to just be like, "Oh, let's go and see that." Like, it's kind of
Right.
just generally what happens to my movies. One guy.
I don't think I fully understood the appeal of Robert Pattinson until I saw the 2017 film Good Time, directed by the Safdie brothers.
This is good stuff we're talking about. Excuse me.
You Peter?
Yes, I am. We're in the middle of... Hello.
Nick, what are you doing?
We're in the middle
Come
of
on.
something here. We're in the
Come
middle
on,
of
get
an
up.
exam. Hey,
That's
hey,
me
Nick,
about
Nick.
the stuff and the pan and the
Wait,
chicken.
wait, please.
How
Nick.
would you like it if I made you cry, huh? Would you like that?
No, I would not.
Come on, get up.
They told me I had to do this stuff.
Let's go, let's go.
But he has all my
Nick,
stuff. Goes down all my
Nick,
stuff.
we're
Shut up
so-
then.
Nick,
Yeah, this
we're
is
really
my
good
work.
here.
This is my stuff.
Before working with the Safdie brothers, he saw a single still image from one of their films, became convinced they should collaborate, and was overjoyed when they actually agreed.
I saw the still from the previous movie on the banner of a website, and then kind of sent this sort of crazy obsessive email saying, I know, but this is supposed to happen. It's meant to be, and
very much like the character in the movie. Yeah.
And then when we met, I mean, I hadn't seen anything. I hadn't seen the trailer or anything, and we sort of agreed to do a movie which didn't exist, based on nothing.
Well, I see him as a leading man, and I wasn't interested in him as like a supporting piece to kind of like get financing. It was just like I see his face as a star's face, and but he carries himself like a wounded war victim, you know, constantly like, no one look at me, like I need to get from A to B and no one sees me, you know, like, and I that was interesting. We wanted to bring that to the character, but when he reached out, there was no Good Time, there was no project.
So they actually wrote Good Time specifically for him. In the film, Rob plays Connie, a tough-talking bank robber from Queens who attempts to free his developmentally disabled brother Nick from police custody. On the shoot, Rob picked up a Queens accent and dressed the part, which is actually where the famous Adidas tracksuit meme photo originated, when Josh Safdie posted the photo on his Instagram. The photo was taken in the apartment he lived in during the shoot. He wore the costumes before filming to get used to them.
I felt so ridiculous wearing this stuff, but I was like, I'm just gonna wear it because people do wear this stuff.
Right, yeah.
And I see everyone else wear it. You just feel weird wearing it.
Yeah.
I was like, almost wore a do-rag one day.
Right.
And just doing this stuff.
Right.
And like really, really going for it. You just suddenly realize I can walk into some deli in Queens, put on the accent, wear the outfit and everything, and people believe, they don't question it.
Following this film, Robert starred in High Life, directed by Claire Denis, where he plays a death row prisoner who's shipped off to outer space in a government experiment. After that, he starred in Robert Eggers' film The Lighthouse, which is set in a watchtower in the middle of nowhere, where Rob plays a watchman alongside Willem Dafoe. Pattinson had seen Eggers' 2015 horror film, The Witch, and reached out to him about working on something down the line. The first idea that Eggers suggested wasn't weird enough for Pattinson.
I sort of quite flippantly said at the end of one of the meetings, I was like, look, basically all I want to do is like stuff that's like really, really weird and crazy. And the next day he said like, oh, yeah, me and my brother are working on this thing, like, and I think if this isn't crazy enough, like I don't know what to tell you. And I read it and I was like, yeah, this is pretty wild.
To get ready for the role, Rob moved to Nova Scotia 3 months before the shoot, poured through historical studies of men in lighthouses, and listened to audio tapes of dialects of New England. Before scenes, Pattinson would punch himself in the face, or drink mud from puddles, or force himself to gag. He explained it as a necessary attempt to maximize creativity. Pattinson and Dafoe's performances are brilliant, as both of their characters succumb to madness amidst their isolation.
I ain't never intended to be no housewife nor slave in taking this job. And it ain't right. These lodgings is more ramshackle than any shanty boys camp I ever seen. The Queen of England's old fancy housekeeper couldn't even done no better than what I done. Because I tell you, I scrubbed this here place twice over.
And I say you did nothing of the sort. And I say you swab it again, and you swab it proper like this time, and you'll be swabbing it 10 times more after that.
In the past year or so, Pattinson's career has taken another turn, as he's begun moving back towards movie stardom. He adopted a ridiculous French accent as the Dauphin alongside Timothée Chalamet in Netflix's The King. He doesn't appear until about an hour into the film, but his entrance is absolutely worth the wait. His choices in this movie make for a light and humorous tone shift in an otherwise serious, gritty film.
I have not come to offer you surrender, if that is what you're hoping. I mean, no, your balls must be big, no? Giant balls. Giant balls with a tiny cock.
Rob also appeared in an excellent Netflix thriller called The Devil All the Time that pits Tom Holland against him. This film is one of his most despicable characters, as he plays a preacher who sexually abuses young girls, and is marked by his high-pitched southern accent, which he refused to let anyone hear until his first take on set.
Some girl gets a feeling for a fella and lets him have her holy gift. Delusions! Blaspheming the Lord in your mind and in your heart for some wrong done to you by another person.
Most recently, Pattinson is in Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan. In it, a secret agent is given a single word as his weapon and must travel through time to prevent the onset of World War III. On his press run for the film, he said, quote, "I mean, there were months at a time when I actually honestly have no idea if I'm even vaguely understanding what's happening. I myself have seen this movie 3 times, and I still don't understand what's happening, so I feel you, Rob. So after years of avoiding big budget films, and the spotlight that comes with them, Pattinson was in the midst of making a few giant movies in a row, and then he got a call that will surely change his life. He had landed the role of Bruce Wayne in the upcoming Batman film.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
When Pattinson was first named the frontrunner for the Batman role, the backlash on social media was intense, and there was even a petition that surfaced asking Warner Brothers to reconsider. But Pattinson remained upbeat about the mixed reaction, saying, "To be honest, it was less bitter than I was expecting, and it's more fun when you're an underdog. There's no expectation of you." He also relished the fact that there are several very well done versions of the character, saying, quote, "It's fun when more and more ground has been covered. Like, where's the gap? Where's my opening?" And then also it's a legacy part, right? There's so few things in life where people passionately care about something before it's even happened.
Batman movies have always attracted really, really good directors and kind of really good actors playing it, and it's got a legacy and a lineage to it, which is it's never seemed to me like it's been just a cash in. I mean, it's interesting what the different directions you can take with it, and that kind of, for in some ways quite a specific character, there's actually quite a lot of leeway. I mean, when you look at the different tones of all these movies, I mean, and the TV shows, I mean, you can do quite a lot with it.
The Batman is the first time Robert has worked in a studio in a long time, and it's his first mainstream leading role since he retired Twilight's Edward Cullen back in 2012. The movie looks very dark, and with his tired eyes and the look of depression hidden behind a charming smile, Rob's gonna get Bruce Wayne's personality down pat. The film is currently scheduled for release on March 4, 2022. In the past decade, Robert Pattinson has transformed into one of the most interesting and talented actors alive. And do you know what's funny about him? He's convinced he doesn't know how to act.
I've struggled to see myself even as an actor. I mean, it's kind of the one thing, and as I'm getting older, I'm starting to like my insecurities more, which is kind of, this is an unusual way approach of life, but instead of trying to confront them, I'm just like, oh, I like the fact that every single time I do a movie, I know that the anxiety will build and build and build until like, on day one, I'm like, I don't even know how to speak or read or walk or do anything, and like, regardless of the character.
In Hollywood, you can get categorized quickly just by the way you look, and Robert has actively worked against that since his Twilight years. He said he used to get offers for the blonde guy, when he always wanted the roles for skinny guys with black hair. He said, quote, "I'd love to find out if there's a comfort zone for me to fall back on. Maybe an incredibly insecure English person, filled with self-loathing and doubt, but I don't know how many parts like that come along."
I mean, I'm so uncomfortable in life. I can barely leave my house. I don't think. I mean, if there's one day I'm suddenly like, oh, everything makes sense now. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I always try and pick a job which you think, at first glance, like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have the skill set to do it. And the further away it is from any familiarity, it's kind of more exciting. If you can see that it's good, but I generally try and pick jobs when I'll like a script and then think like, oh, this would be really good if some other actor was doing it. And it's kind of like, you can try and be that other actor.
The Lighthouse director Robert Eggers said, quote, "That paranoid quality about Rob that you kind of feel in his everyday life, I think is why Josh and Benny wanted him in Good Time, and why I thought he made a lot of sense in The Lighthouse. He's good enough that he can transform, but I think that paranoid quality is something that's special for him. Pattinson has a generous but thoroughly chaotic energy." Robert said ultimately his great gift isn't acting, but instead being great at choosing the right people to work with, people who can make him better. Everyone's lives look better the further you are from them. That's why celebrities seem so glamorous. We can't touch them, so we create fantasies about their lives. I think this is what's so refreshing about Robert Pattinson. He seems truly committed to the concept of his ordinariness and makes his life as an actor sound unglamorous and tormented almost to a hilarious degree.
The best part, I guess, is like traveling everywhere. The worst part, I guess, is traveling everywhere and not being able to see anything. I look out a lot of good windows.
I love a quote that Russell Brand said. It goes, "Celebrity is a transmission of a reality that only exists in the perceiving of it. It doesn't exist in its essence." Basically what he's saying is if a celebrity isn't recognized somewhere, they immediately become a regular person because that's all they are at the end of the day. In modern society, celebrity culture has replaced mythology in a way, and now we treat real people as people to look up to. But since they are real people, they can never live up to the expectations. Pattinson said, quote, "I think the stuff about fame is the most boring. There's nothing to say. Literally think about what you imagine fame to be for 1 second. It's like that. People recognize your face, that's it. When I was younger, when I was a little bit more insecure, I kept thinking people were disappointed when they met me. And now I don't give a shit." Today, Pattinson splits his time between LA and London, but prefers to live on a movie set. He's restless if he's not working.
Mainly because I literally have no life. And so...
Well, that was another, you've led me to a brilliant question. What are you doing when you're not
Nothing.
acting? Is it really?
Just waiting and panicking.
High Life director Claire Denis said, quote, "Each time I see Rob, I feel close to him. I see his loneliness, his need to talk, his need to share experiences. His search for truth is relentless, and that explains his need of going into different worlds, movies and films. He's always trying to escape a little. Perhaps the key in any pursuit is to relish the journey, the highs and the lows, because you may feel the emptiest after reaching a goal."
When I first started auditioning, and it was with like Eddie Redmayne and Andrew Garfield and stuff, even then, when no one had any jobs or anything, it was really fun to go and do an audition and all mess it up and then just go to the pub afterwards. Like literally like every single aspect. There's never been a down part. Even being unemployed is really fun. I think that really helps because I think if you've had a moment of just raging at a closed door, when the door opens, like you're inevitably gonna confront a cold gust of emptiness.
It's been a pleasure to witness Robert's maturation into one of the greatest actors of our generation. I've followed him for a while now and can honestly say he gets better every year, and there's no sign of it stopping. I can't wait to see him as Bruce Wayne and everything else he's got coming down the line.